Count the pennies one more time. Run your thumb over the ridges. Feel the cold copper against your palm and memorize the exact weight of scarcity. Memorize the arithmetic of survival, the subtraction of dignity at the checkout counter, the silent calculus of whether this month allows for meat or only rice. Memorize it, Virgo, not because you are staying there, but because you are about to leave that country forever. The passport has already been stamped. The visa is being processed in a dimension where your bank account does not determine your worth, but where your worth is finally being rewarded by a bank account that reflects what the universe has always known about you. You are about to become the first millionaire in your family. And the vehicle of that transformation is not a lottery ticket. It is not a viral moment. It is not a lucky break. It is a person, a wealthy person. A person of such substantial means that their very presence rewrites the financial gravity of every room they enter, and they are coming to marry you. Virgo, let that sentence detonate inside your chest. Let it explode the concrete bunker where you have stored your hopes about money, your shame about wanting it, your belief that abundance is for other people, for other families, for other destinies. Let it shatter the narrative you inherited about staying small, staying humble, staying in your lane, staying grateful for crumbs while other people feast, because the feast is walking toward you right now. On two legs, with a heartbeat, with a name, with a fortune that they have already decided to merge with yours through the legal, spiritual, and cosmic contract of marriage. And they are not hesitating. They are not weighing options. They have already chosen. The papers are being drawn up in rooms you have never seen. The accounts are being prepared for your name. The future is being restructured around your existence in ways that would make your ancestors weep with disbelief and joy. I need you to understand who this person is, because the details matter. They are not a fantasy. They are not a caricature of wealth, no gold chains, no performative excess, no desperate need to prove their worth through noise. This is quiet money, old money or self-made money that has matured into silence, money that does not shout because it has nothing to prove, money that has already survived the cycles of accumulation, loss, and reconstruction that teach a person what wealth actually means. It means options, it means time, it means the freedom to choose love over transaction, connection over extraction, partnership over performance. And this person, Virgo, has looked at the entire menu of romantic possibilities available to someone of their station, and they have pushed the plate away. They do not want a socialite. They do not want an influencer. They do not want someone who sees them as a ladder or a trophy or a retirement plan. They want you. They want the person who organizes their spice rack alphabetically. They want the person who remembers to water the plants. They want the person who shows up on time, who means what they say, who builds stability out of chaos without making a theater of the labor. They want Virgo energy, and they are willing to pay for it with everything they have. Not pay for it in the transactional sense, pay for it in the sense of investment. They are ready to invest their fortune, their name, their legacy, their future into the architecture of your life. And the return they expect is not your gratitude. It is not your submission. It is not your transformation into someone more glamorous, more visible, more socially acceptable. The return they expect is your presence, your consistency, your ability to turn a house into a home, a plan into a reality, a dream into a structure that stands for generations. They have spent their life surrounded by people who take. They have never met someone who builds until you. Virgo, I am seeing the resistance in your field already. I am seeing the part of you that is preparing to reject this message before it even fully lands. The part that says, money corrupts, money changes people. I do not want to be seen as a gold digger. My family will think I sold out. I am not fancy enough for that world. I will not know which fork to use. I will embarrass them. I will lose myself. That resistance is not wisdom, Virgo. That resistance is programming. It is the software installed by generations of people who had to choose between integrity and survival, who never got to have both, who taught you that wanting more was greedy and that accepting more was dangerous. That programming is about to be deleted, not because you are becoming someone else, but because you are finally becoming who you were meant to be in a body that is no longer starving. You are not going to lose yourself in wealth. You are going to find yourself there, because money does not corrupt character, it reveals it. And your character is not corruptible. Your character is the bedrock upon which this person wants to build an empire. They have seen what happens when wealth meets emptiness. They have watched fortunes evaporate in the hands of the irresponsible, the insecure, the performatively extravagant. They know that money without grounding is a flood, and you, Virgo, are the riverbank. You are the levee. You are the structure that turns a flood into irrigation. That is why they need you, not as an accessory, as a foundation. Let me tell you about the moment they realized, because it is specific and it is sacred. They were watching you do something ordinary. Perhaps you were organizing a drawer. Perhaps you were making a list. Perhaps you were speaking to a server with the same respect you offer a CEO. Perhaps you were refusing to cut corners on a project that no one else would have noticed. Perhaps you were simply sitting in silence, present, unbothered by the chaos around you, generating a field of order through your mere existence. And in that moment, they felt something they had never felt before. Safety. Not the safety of a gated community or a security detail. The safety of knowing that if they placed their heart in your hands, you would catalog it, maintain it, and return it to them in better condition than you found it. They realize that you are the only person they have ever met who is more interested in the truth than in the transaction. And for someone who has spent their life calculating the cost of every interaction, the discovery of someone who does not calculate is the most valuable asset on earth. They started researching you, Virgo, not in a creepy way, in the way an investor researches a company before a merger. They looked at your history, your patterns, your consistency. They noticed that you do not gossip. They noticed that you do not betray confidences. They noticed that when you give your word, the universe itself could split open and you would still deliver. They noticed that you treat resources, time, energy, money, attention with a reverence that suggests you understand their true value. And they understood with a clarity that made them sit down in the nearest chair and breathe differently, that you are the steward their fortune has been waiting for. Their money has been looking for you. Their assets have been searching for a consciousness responsible enough to hold them. And their heart, which they had almost given up on, has been searching for a rhythm that matches its own. Yours matches exactly. Now, Virgo, we need to talk about your family, because this is where the reading gets sharp. You are about to become the first millionaire in your family, and that title carries a weight that has nothing to do with currency and everything to do with mythology. Your family has a story about itself, a story about struggle, about endurance, about making do, about the nobility of doing without. That story has protected them. It has given meaning to their sacrifices. It has turned scarcity into a badge of honor. And you are about to violate that story. Not because you are betraying them, but because you are transcending it. And transcendence looks like betrayal to people who have not been invited to transcend. They are going to have opinions, loud ones. Some will accuse you of forgetting where you came from. Some will assume you manipulated this wealthy person. Some will wait for your relationship to fail so they can say, I told you, money does not solve anything. Some will show up with their hands out, having done nothing to earn your generosity, but demanding it as birthright. Some will distance themselves from you out of shame because your elevation forces them to confront their own resignation. And Virgo, you are going to have to be ruthless in your compassion. You are going to have to love them without letting them pull you back into the gravity of their limitations. You are going to have to build a life that includes them only insofar as they can celebrate your expansion rather than resent it. This is the hardest part, not learning to manage millions, managing the emotional blackmail of people who are terrified of your freedom. But here is what I am seeing that gives me absolute certainty about your readiness. You have already been managing poverty with the skill of a CEO. You have been stretching impossible budgets. You have been negotiating with scarcity. You have been building castles on foundations of sand. Imagine what happens when the foundation becomes marble, when the resources match your capability, when the limit is removed from your potential. You are not going to become reckless. You are going to become exponential. You are going to turn that fortune into generational wealth, into foundations, into scholarships, into properties that house not just your body but your legacy, into investments that fund the dreams of people who never had a chance. You are not going to hoard it. You are going to steward it. And that is precisely why you are receiving it. The wealthy person sees this. They have watched how you handle the little you have. They have seen you give when you barely had enough. They have seen you maintain dignity in transactions that stripped others of theirs. They know that multiplying your resources will only multiply your impact. And they want to be the partner who makes that multiplication possible. They want to wake up every morning knowing that their fortune is in the hands of someone who will not waste it, will not flaunt it, will not use it to mask insecurity, but will use it to build something that outlasts both of you. That is their dream. And you are the only person they have ever met who makes that dream feel possible. Virgo, I am seeing the proposal, and it is not what you expect. It is not a public spectacle in a restaurant with a hidden photographer. It is not a grand gesture designed for social media. It is private. It is specific. It is them handing you a folder, a key, a document, a portfolio, and then asking you with a voice that shakes because they have never been this vulnerable about money to build a life with them that includes everything they have. They are not offering you a ring and a promise. They are offering you a kingdom and a partnership. They are saying, I have spent my life accumulating. You have spent your life refining. Let us merge these two economies and see what civilization we can build. And in that folder, Virgo, there is already a plan. There is already a timeline. There is already a trust with your name on it. They have been preparing this since before they told you how they felt, because they knew before you knew that this was inevitable. You are going to cry. Not because you are overwhelmed by the money, though you will be, but because you are overwhelmed by the recognition, by the fact that someone looked at your meticulous, careful, often invisible labor and assigned it the value it deserves. You have been undervalued your entire life by employers who saw your efficiency as an excuse to load you with more work for the same pay, by partners who saw your stability as boring and your standards as difficult, by a world that rewards noise and punishes precision. And now, suddenly, precision is the most valuable currency in the room. Your exactness, your care, your refusal to cut corners, your ability to see the flaw in the foundation before the house is built. These are not annoying traits anymore. These are the traits that will protect and multiply a fortune. And someone with a fortune has finally recognized it. The marriage is not a rescue, Virgo. Do not let your mind twist it into that narrative. You are not being saved, you are being partnered. This wealthy person does not see you as a charity case. They see you as a missing piece. They see the life they have built as incomplete without the specific frequency you bring. They have the means, but not the meaning. They have the structure, but not the soul. They have the network, but not the nourishment. And they are intelligent enough to know that a life of wealth without depth is a gilded cage. They want out of the cage. And you are the key, not because you are simple or pure or some ridiculous fantasy of grounding, but because you are real, because you demand reality, because you would rather have an honest conversation in a studio apartment than a lie in a penthouse, because your integrity is non-negotiable, and that integrity in a world of transactional relationships is the rarest luxury of all. I am seeing your first year as a married couple, Virgo, and it is not seamless. There will be adjustments. The sheets will be finer than you are used to, and you will worry about ruining them. The restaurants will require reservations months in advance, and you will feel like an imposter walking through the doors. The staff will call you by titles that feel like costumes, and there will be moments when you miss the simplicity of your old life, the anonymity of struggle, the solidarity of the broke. Those moments are valid. They are not signs that you made a mistake. They are signs that you are human, that your nervous system is recalibrating, that your identity is expanding to include a reality you were told was not for you. But I am also seeing something else. I am seeing you 6 months in, walking through your new home and realizing that the space is not too big for you, that the silence is not empty, that the resources are not corrupting. I am seeing you hire people and pay them fairly. I am seeing you fund your cousin's education. I am seeing you buy your mother a house without fanfare, without announcement, without needing gratitude. I am seeing you establish a foundation that bears your family name, turning the shame of poverty into the structure of opportunity. I am seeing you become the ancestor you wish you had had, the one who breaks the cycle not through suffering but through abundance. And I am seeing your wealthy partner watching you do all of this with a pride that has nothing to do with possession and everything to do with awe. They did not marry you to own you. They married you to witness you. And the witnessing is the greatest gift they could offer. Virgo, there is a twist in this reading that I have never encountered before. This wealthy person has already begun the transfer before the wedding, before the public announcement, before your family even knows their name. They have already moved assets. They have already established lines of credit in your direction. They have already instructed their attorneys to prepare documents that will make you financially independent the moment you sign them. Not as a test, not as a trap, but as a statement of faith. They believe in you so completely that they are willing to bet their fortune on your character before the vows are spoken. And the universe is validating that faith by clearing every obstacle. The paperwork that should take months is processing in weeks. The properties that should be unavailable are suddenly on the market. The connections that should require years of networking are arriving through coincidence and synchronicity. The money is already in motion. It is circling your field like water seeking its level. And the level is rising. You need to be ready for the envy, Virgo. It will come from everywhere. From people you considered friends. From colleagues who watched you struggle and assumed you would struggle forever. From strangers on the internet who will reduce your marriage to a transaction because they cannot comprehend that love and wealth might coexist. From your own internalized voices that will whisper, "You do not deserve this. You did not earn this. This is too much." And when those voices speak, you must answer them with the truth. You did earn this. You earned it through every unnoticed act of integrity. Every time you chose honesty when lying would have been easier. Every time you showed up when no one was watching. Every time you maintained your standards in a world that punished you for having them. The universe keeps a ledger more precise than any bank, and your account has been credited. The marriage is coming, Virgo. The wealthy person is already on their way. They are not lost. They are not browsing. They are traveling with intention toward the coordinates of your life. And when they arrive, they will not be disguised as a savior. They will be disguised as a person with flaws and fears and their own history of wounds around trust. A person who needs you as much as you need the stability they offer. A person who is terrified of being loved for their money and who has chosen you precisely because you are incapable of that particular fraud. You will see them before you see their wealth. You will feel them before you know their net worth. And when you do learn the numbers, they will matter less than you think. Because what you will value most is the way they look at you when you are organizing a closet, the way they trust you with their secrets, the way they relax in your presence as they have never relaxed anywhere else. You are about to become the first millionaire in your family, and that fact is going to reverberate backward through your lineage, healing debts you did not know existed. It is going to reverberate forward through your descendants, opening doors they will walk through without knowing they were ever closed. It is going to change the chemistry of your bloodline, and it is going to start with a conversation, a meeting, a moment of eye contact where two people recognize each other across the absurd distance that money and class have placed between them and decide that the distance is meaningless. Do not apologize for what is coming. Do not minimize it. Do not tell yourself that it is just luck, just timing, just a fluke. It is justice. It is the universe correcting an imbalance. It is the return on investment for a life lived with precision, care, and unwavering integrity. You are not being lifted out of your life. You are being placed at the center of a life that finally fits your magnitude. The wealthy person is coming. The marriage is certain. The millions are already in motion. And you, Virgo, are about to discover that the only thing more abundant than your new partner's resources is your own capacity to steward them with grace. Stand in the doorway of your old apartment one last time. Memorize the creak of the floorboard. Then turn the key, lock the door, and do not look back. The car is waiting. The plane is fueled. The future is dressed in silk, and it is holding your name on a placard written in gold. Walk toward it. The arithmetic of survival is over. The mathematics of legacy has begun.